For the 92.
Pin badge secured. Finally, Riders, the 92 is back. Oh yes guys, Series 2 brings us here to Bristol and of course Ashton Gate, the home of Bristol City Football Club. They get a lot of stick, a lot of people regard them as England's most boring club. I don't think that. And of course today we're going to find out exactly what it's like to be a fan of this, I say fantastic, they are a great club, but they're often also known as being underachievers because Bristol, the city, has a population of around 500,000. So why, considering Bristol City, the rivals across the city, Bristol Rovers, why does this fantastic city not have a football club who's ever competed in the Premier League? Of course, Bristol City have been in the top flight of English football, but we've got to look back all the way to 1980. Of course, they've not been in England's top flight ever since. Their highest ever finish, though, was back in the early 1900s. They finished second when Newcastle United would win the old First Division, but it's very much been mid-table mediocrity. They finished 12th out of 24 teams last season. But today, we're not going to focus too much on the negative, the doom and gloom. We're going to be fair and honest. You might have seen the matchday video for the game against Millwall. Today, we're going to give them the ratings. We're going to look at other things, fan atmosphere, stadium aesthetic. Of course, Ashton Gate went under major renovations over 10 years ago. It reopened in its current form about 10 years ago, as I said. Was it 2016, 2017 season, something like that. We're also going to rate the food and drink and of course the matchday experience. Again, if you're new around here, we make videos like this most weeks, so make sure you are subscribed, not only here in England, but we also travel around Europe as well. I'm a massive football fan and I'm just here sharing my football fandom with you guys. So today we ask the question, why hasn't this club achieved more? Is it boring? And can it knock Notts County off the top of our table in the Riders, the 92 rankings? It's beautiful and sunny. Today, Bristol is football paradise. Let's go. So yeah, it looks glorious and modern, as we said, recently renovated, but Bristol City have officially been playing here at Ashton Gate since 1904. Apparently they played here, or played some games here from 1900 after a merger. But of course they were formed in 1894, so they have a rich history, most of which was spent here at their home at Ashton Gate. It now is a ground shared with a rugby team as well, Bristol Bears, I believe. Is it basketball? There's loads of uses for this stadium. I did see some signs around the corner that you can use it for functions and all that sort of thing. You find that with most modern grounds, don't you? The clubs don't only use the grounds on match day, they try and monetize and get revenue in all kinds of different ways as well. So it's good to see that because Bristol City have faced numerous financial difficulties over the years. But in this glorious sun, let's keep exploring. I like it. You know me, I am a fan of the really old school, rugged, raw grounds, and of course the other Bristol club, Rovers. Better keep that name a little bit quiet on match day today. But their ground is a lot more rugged and raw. Of course, they faced many a financial difficulty as well. Bristol Rovers playing at nearby Bath for numerous years. But yeah, not too bad. I like this. By the way, if you're worried, thinking, Christ, it looks a bit quiet as Roy turned up on the wrong day. Is it really match day today? It is. I'm just mega early. Obviously the sun's shining bright, nice and early. We're expecting a beautiful day weather-wise. So I thought I only live 45 minutes up the road. Let's get down early and let's make a bloody day of it, shall we? So of course I was here a few years ago and made that video asking the question, is Bristol City really one of the more boring clubs in England? But if you do look deeper into their history, of course they were only elected to the Football League in 1901, but a few years later they go on and win the second division, and then in the 1906-07 season they almost won the bloody thing. They were one of the best teams in England at that time, runners up to Newcastle United of course. Now if you were to say to Bristol City fans today, imagine finish second in the Premier League, they would be shocked. They would think you're in dreamland. But maybe, just maybe, with a bit of investment, this club has the infrastructure, has the potential, it's got the fans.
It's the first year of a 3-year process to get into the Premier League. So the general consensus around the club seems to be that patience is needed in year one, not to expect anything special.
Non-City fans would argue that you've had to have patience for about 40 years as a Bristol City fan.
Yeah, but this seems different. Now there just seems to be a general belief that we can't actually get to the Premier League.
Yeah.
The club is showing ambition, not only with the money we spent and the players we signed, but for the first time ever in the club's history, we've hired a sporting director. I can see us finishing between like 10th and 11th, I think.
This club, imagine Bristol City in the Premier League, it would be awesome. This is not only the biggest city in the southwest, we mentioned around 500,000 in terms of population, but this is probably the biggest club in the southwest as well. You've obviously got like Plymouth Argyle, you've got my hometown Cheltenham, which is nowhere near as big as the Robins because their nickname is the Robins, so is Cheltenham Town's, but the potential for this club is bloody huge. Okay, so aesthetically, it doesn't look like your old school traditional English football ground, and I get that, and I will probably mark it down accordingly when we do our ratings at the end of the Riders the 92 video, but of course its location right opposite this park, a beautiful park. To give it its official name, we've got Greville Smith Park, Bedminster, Southville. Now this park's really nice. You've got nice hills, whatever you want to call them, just your standard park. But having this directly opposite a ground, without sacrificing the fact that Ashton Gate is right amongst the terraced housing as well, which is traditional, of course, in English football. It's a real contrast between modern, nice and beautiful, and also the traditions of that terraced housing. Yeah. Right guys, so this is an entranceway to the stadium. But if you look in the distance, right next to the ground over there, we've got a block of flats. And that block of flats might look quite familiar to you. We're going to head down Duckmore Road in a moment, which is where the flats in which Only Fools and Horses was filmed at from Series 6 onwards. Oh yes, Nelson Mandela House. If you've never heard of Only Fools and Horses and you're British, you need to sort your life out. Obviously, I'll let you have a pass if you're not from the UK, but it's a legendary comedy series here in Britain, of course. BBC moved most of their filming to here in Bristol, and of course Only Fools and Horses went with it. So right next to Ashton Gate, the stadium, and down Duckmore Road, which is where I'm going now, is of course a block of flats that was portrayed as Nelson Mandela House. Stick a pony in me pocket, I'll fetch the suitcase from the van. Of course we're here outside Whitemead House. I'm not sure which block in particular actually. You've got a block there and a block there, and there we go. Yeah, nice little fun fact. Not the original block of flats for the series or for the show Only Fools and Horses, but if you are in Bristol and you are near Ashton Gate, make sure you do check out this iconic backdrop over here. And they also filmed, apparently, oh, they're right in front of me, apparently these nearby lockups are where they did some filming as well, of course. Dal and, whose was it? Rodney's, Cassandra's dad, was it? I can't remember, it might be Cassandra's dad. Was it Raquel's dad? I can't remember. They were digging out a deep sea diver's watch, weren't they? So this is the lockup here. Again, I can't remember which one it was, but one of these lockups over here was where, or was Dal and Rodney's lockup, should I say. I've been here before and I completely forgot to check this place out last time, but you can see that the stadium is literally right behind it. So when I say it's next door to Ashton Gate, it's weird when you've got the Bristol accent, the cider drinker accent, the Wurzels, you think of Bristol, you don't think of the East End of London and Dalboy and that Cockney accent, do you? Okay, so I was actually factually wrong there, guys, because we've got Winterstoke House over here, which isn't Whitemead House, of course. Behind me, we've got South Bow House, the lockups over there where I just was, and the ground. So that surely leaves the one in the distance, fittingly with a St George's cross hanging outside, That's got to be Whitemead House, surely.
Why do only fools and horses work? La 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 la.
That is definitely the one. Looks familiar now. So over here, guys, ironically, you can see the gates. It says BBC. Now, BBC obviously were filming here during the time of Only Fools and Horses, but you can actually see that it's the Bristol Bowling Club. This looks quite an old sign. I think it probably predates the late 80s, 88, I think they started filming here. So I thought maybe these gates had something to do with this being closed off for the BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, but it could just be coincidence. Again, let us know in the comments below. Is this Bristol Bowling Club or British Broadcasting Company? Obviously, maybe both. But I thought it was a nice little fun fact. Anyway, let's get away. I don't want to upset the residents. Let's get back to the ground. Let's go.
As we shout, ooh-ar, ooh-ar. One for the Bristol City, two for the boys in red, three for the fans down Ashton.
So guys, have you ever found it really ironic that us football fans come and watch really, really healthy people play football, athletes run around a football pitch, yet us football fans are some of the most unhealthy of people? But thankfully, with help with today's sponsor, Oxford Natural, I'm making a change. I'm getting in better condition, and you can too. When you start seeing names that we all know across the game, like Michael Owen, an England legend who's 35 pounds down. Then you've got Robbie, the Don from AFTV. He's lost over 80 pounds. So I've been hearing about this product more and more from the lads in the industry. It's my time to give it a go. Maybe you should do too, because as I said, football fans aren't necessarily the healthiest, but as we get older, we have to start taking care of ourselves, don't we? You've got Optimum Day, which helps with everyday energy, keeping down the cravings and keeping you on track. Trust me, when you're travelling across the country, sometimes overseas, walking miles around football grounds and editing late into the night, you need that extra bit of fuel. Then you've got Optimum Night, which is all about the recovery, getting a proper night's sleep and letting your body reset so that you're ready for the next match day journey. It's simple, nothing crazy, but people are clearly getting results with it. Now, you know by now, guys, I'm very transparent and honest. I don't accept sponsorships if I don't believe in the product. I'm on both Optimum Day and Optimum Night. I'm sleeping better, I feel better in the daytime, I've got more energy, and I'm definitely starting to make improvements in my physique, believe it or not, under this red jacket. But you can improve your health today, guys. Make sure you do follow the link below, follow the QR code on screen. Make sure you do use the code RYFP at checkout for a whopping 70% off your first order. And thanks again to Oxford Natural for sponsoring today's video. Okay, don't hate me, guys. I'm here outside the Rivals. This stadium, of course, being known as the Memorial Stadium. We can't speak about Bristol and how they've never, as a city, experienced Premier League football by not visiting the arch rivals of Bristol City, Bristol Rovers. Now, they currently play 2 leagues below Bristol City in the EFL League 2, and they faced many a financial trouble like Bristol City have over the years. I think we've already referenced the fact that they had to play in Bath, which isn't too far away from here, play the home games away outside of Bristol. Now, this ground is a lot more rugged and raw. You can see, beautifully modern stands that have been recently renovated. This is all quite rugged, open corners. But with that said, these are the sort of old school grounds I do really, really love. I like Bristol Cities as well, of course. So make sure you are subscribed, as next week on both Matchday Raw and Riders the 92, we're going to be here. We're going to be watching the game between Bristol Rovers and Newport County, which is a bit of a derby. It's a cross-border rivalry, England versus Scotland? Wales, aka England versus Wales. Again, subscribe and let's get back over to the red half of Bristol. Let's go.
One for the Bristol City, two for the boys in red, three for the fans down Ashton Gate. We'll follow till we're dead, me boys.
Okay, so it made sense, guys, to start at the Thatcher's Bar. £4 for Thatcher's Gold, not too bad at all. Of course, Big John was a lucky boy. He asked for a Thatcher's Haze and got a Thatcher's Gold, so we got a free pint. And that wasn't his first pint of the day.
This, 2 baby Guinnesses, 3 cans of Jack and Coke, Thatcher's Gold and this.
See it off, see it off.
Yep, no nonsense Big Bev was enjoying his free pint and he got a little bit hungry. So after this pint, we had a little bit of a wander across to some of the food outlets. There's loads of choice at Ashton Gate, some of them not to his liking. I did upset him by pointing out that the Greek little van had a Greek salad. Would he like a Greek salad? He politely declined. Bristol Beer Factory, they've got their own brewery, I guess. Again, not to Big John's fancy, but still a little bit angry from that Greek salad comment, so I took him inside the club shop to calm him down a little bit.
They're the only two they do, John?
Yeah.
What are we saying? Let's let Martin choose. What are we saying, Mark?
This one, I like the scarf one.
Scarf one?
Yeah.
Pin badge secured. Oh yes. We've had the pie. No, we haven't had the pie. We've had a pint, we've had a pin badge. We need to get a pie. Come on. Yep, so into the ground we went, and unfortunately I stumbled across this. A self-serve food outlet place, and I knew this was going to really wind Big Bev up even more. Self-serve food. Is it too much to ask at a football stadium in 2026 to get served by a human being?
I think it's just the way business is. Remember, all companies are looking to save money. And just
They're looking to save money and not employ staff, but you got one woman waiting there, you got a woman waiting behind, you got 3 security guards.
yeah,
So surely more staff are employed. Right, I've had my rant. £6 5 for a Prava. We're gonna mix the cider and the lager. That's good. It's made up for it. That's nice.
So basically, when you scan in, it videos you what you pick up apparently. Then as soon as you walk out, it allegedly knows what you took, and it will take a little while for it to actually process through your bank, because I just looked at my bank and it doesn't say a certain amount.
Did it process, the cameras process all the things you stole and you put in your pockets?
No comment.
Do they have things like this in the Forest of Dean?
I can't comment on that. Fuck the system.
I will say the pie's nice though. It's not a pucker pie and it's bloody nice.
So whatever Ryan Shaw's this, it's getting docked 1 point for this utter woke nonsense. If you don't like it, suck your mum.
John, do you want to give it another go?
Suck your mum.
Yep, so despite some of that drama with the self-serve checkout, I really enjoyed that pie. It was one of the best pies I've had at a football ground. So as we make our way inside the stadium, as we keep saying, recently renovated, around 27,000 in terms of capacity, and it looks really, really good inside the ground.
All right, guys, so John is just calming down after the self-serve checkout.
54.
But I must say, these seats...
54.
These seats are way comfier than most seats. Of course, this ground had a major renovation 10 plus years ago. These seats are absolute luxury. Nice seats, aren't they, John?
Yep, thoroughly impressed with those seats, and if you're admiring my shirt, a few of you commented on the last video, obviously it's from Top Bins. Now John took himself away a little bit, still fuming over those self-serve checkouts, but I thought I'd admire some of this. Obviously Bristol City have nice flag displays. Again, if you're new to the channel, I spend a lot of my time in Germany. I follow a German football club, so it very much makes me feel somewhat at home from home. And yeah, fans pretty good in support for their club on this opening day of the season. Very vocal, a nice atmosphere easing into this game. Of course, if you know the result, that atmosphere would take a bit of a nosedive pretty quickly, pretty swiftly, but again, a pleasant start. So kick-off here is a reminder, Bristol City versus Millwall here at Ashton Gate. Now again, yeah, nice and lively, the fans at the start. Bristol City weren't too bad to start with, but the game would completely change off the back of I believe it was a double yellow, anyway, a red card. Oh no, a hydration break. Mr. John Bevan is not going to like this.
John, you need a hydration break.
Woke nonsense, this is.
the answer you'd expect. But to be fair, as you can see my phone, it was absolutely roasting in that stand. And to add to the discomfort for Bristol City fans, there we go, a man down, concede a goal, 1-0 to Millwall. And again, the atmosphere took a massive nosedive. Half-time approached and everyone in our stand was absolutely sunburnt. You just walk around the concourse area, everyone was red raw, red like a lobster. So we spotted some seats opposite. And that is the beautiful thing with Ashton Gate. Apart from the old stand where the away fans are, you can pretty much walk around those 3 stands. So we picked out those seats, which were padded seats. But again, it wasn't good because Millwall would get that second goal. And obviously this was a bit of the prawn sandwich brigade anyway, but they were even more quiet after Millwall scored that second goal. Now that miss, I know this is a Bristol City video, but I had to show that Millwall miss again. This is their new number 9, apparently came from Plymouth. Again, not the biggest fan of him so far. Maybe he'll grow into that red shirt. And away we go. So this is obviously where things are a little bit different. By the way, we'll get back to that in a moment because we've got Millwall, North Bristol Lions. Quite strange. Does anybody know the story behind that? As you can see, pretty empty though. You can't just blame the sun. And not a great day for Bristol City fans. So guys, yeah, I was really hopeful when I saw those flags and that really nice kind of display, the atmosphere at the start. A lot of people have said to me that Bristol City have ultras, but again, if you're German or if you watch my videos, you'll know ultras will stay there until the end. I mean, we went to Magdeburg recently. They lost 6-1 in their opening game of the season, but the Magdeburg ultras were bouncing up and down in full voice and still completely behind their club. Us English fans, we get annoyed and we just walk out, don't we? This is not, a bash at English fans by any means, because I love English football fan culture. I love all fan cultures, and this is the beauty of the channel. We sample a little bit of everything. However, today, it's all about Bristol City. Despite the loss, fan atmosphere, I was very, very disappointed, I'll be honest. I'm going to go for 2 out of 5 for fan atmosphere for Bristol City. I'm really sorry, City fans. I know if you'd have won, maybe you'd have been in full voice, but that's football, isn't it? You've got to get behind your team regardless of the situation. So 2 out of 5. Fan atmosphere. Stadium aesthetic, I've actually shocked myself hearing that obviously it was a stadium shared with a rugby team and there's all kinds of other sporting activities going on at the stadium. I know they need to kind of increase the revenue. We mentioned that Bristol City were struggling. I've not mentioned the Ashton Gate 8, of course, the 8 players who helped keep the club alive. The club might have died without the actions of those 8 players. Look into that, guys. We have made an older Bristol City video where we talk about the history, went to the original ground before Ashton Gate and all that. But the actual Ashton Gate, despite the renovation, I like the aesthetic of that big side stand that we moved to sticking out of the top. I know that's kind of become its trademark. I like the fact that they've still got that really old school end. But for me, it was really good, really well designed. You can walk around a really nice wide open concourse area. And for me, yeah, I thought being a modern ground, I might mark it down. But the fact that it's still in its original place, right next to the terraced housing, it's opposite that lovely park. For me, it's really good. I'm not going to stretch as high as a 4. I'm going to say a 3.5 out of 5 for Ashton Gate. I liked it. I did really, really like it. So in terms of the food and drink, now, despite the controversy of that self-serve checkout, I'm cool with that. Obviously, John's very set in his ways. He's more old school than me. He's from the Forest of Dean, Cinderford. Things are a little bit backward over there. Sorry, I do live around the corner. I'm not saying that Cheltenham is the best place to live, but I didn't mind it at all. The pie was one of the best I've had. It wasn't a pucker pie. And again, £4 for a Thatcher's Gold, not too bad at a ground. Prava, £6 and 5 pence. I've been to grounds where they're near enough £7 a pint. So for me, food and drink wasn't too bad. There were so many options around the outside. I mean, just say you are on a diet, you could have had one of those Greek salads. So I know John says I need to mark it down a point for that reason, but I would have given them 4 out of 5. I'm not going to mark them down a point, John. Maybe I'll mark them down 0.5 of a point. I feel like that's harsh, really harsh indeed. 3.5 out of 5 for food. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to give them 4 out of 5, It wasn't too bad at all. John's going to be fuming with this scoring system, but 4 out of 5 for food and drink. The final one, match day experience. Now, that kind of includes things like, how do you feel on match day? You know, what's the shop like? What's the whole vibe around the ground? Is it a really exciting match day feeling? And there was bits going on. I did enjoy it, but I did feel like even though it was opening day of the season and some fan bases take a while to warm up, I didn't feel like it was the greatest match day experience. Again, you know, regardless of the result. For me, maybe I've been generous on the food and drink with a 4, so I'm going to say 2.5 out of 5 for that. So what does that leave us in total? So that leaves us with a total of 12, I believe. My maths is terrible. 12 out of 20, guys. So where does that leave Bristol City on the Riders the 92 rankings? Well, here's the table. Here's how it looks. They haven't knocked, obviously, Notts County off the top spot. Pompey in that way up there. Remember I said at the start of the video we can tweak these as well. They were definitely not going to leave it at the end of the series. There's going to be a kind of knockout stage and we're going to find ourselves the ultimate winner. So don't worry if your team isn't quite near the top, because you will have a chance to prove yourselves. Whether that's a revisit or something along those lines, I'm going to explain more as the series progresses. If you wanted to see more of the match day against Millwall, maybe you're a Millwall fan, we have done a Riders the 92 episode at the Den, but also we're going to split these visits into 2 videos. Of course, you've watched Riders the 92, but immediately after the game, at most the next day, you're going to have Match Day Raw, which is going to be all about the actual game itself. So if you've enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button. And of course, a little reminder, where are we? Next week, right? So guys, if you did enjoy the video, next week, episode 2 of series 2, we're going to be here at the Rivals. We're going to experience both Bristol clubs back to back, so we can get a nice, honest comparison, I guess. Obviously these guys currently playing in League 2, 2 leagues below Bristol City. But again, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you do check out both Matchday Raw, where we're going to see Bristol Rovers against Newport County, which is a bit of a local derby. It's a bit of a cross-border derby between England and Wales, of course. And make sure you do check out episode 2 of Riders the 92. We'll be ranking this club. How will Bristol Rovers do compared to Bristol City in a Riders the 92 rankings? Hit the like button and I'll see you in the next video.